My boys have already learned the heaven section, and they have begun training in different sections. They already learned the three principles and the seven stars. And Solomon asked me, he said, "Dad, how do you remember all the movements?" And I told him, it's very simple. You just have to be able to make a plan. So the movements that you've already learned, the styles that you already know, you have to decide, okay, on Monday, I'm going to work on this. A lot of times I say Monday movement, which can be any movements that I'm really working on and struggling with. Tuesday takedowns, Wednesday weapons, Thursday 1,000, which means you're practicing a particular technique at least 1,000 times or thousands of times, right? And then Friday freestyle. You got to learn how to be free in addition to practicing all of the movements and patterns. But if you don't have some kind of a schedule, you're really practicing in vain. There's going to be something that's going to get lost that you're going to forget about. So practice well. All the techniques that you learn through every season, keep them together, and you're going to shine with all of your techniques. So here with abstracts, the very first movement we want to do is relax our leg and swing to a 45-degree angle, and then the other one. And as we do that, we clap them together, and you should hear sound. So you're just doing it nice and relaxed. Make sure that your body is doing the work. Your hands are just extending out there in that 45-degree angle. The feet and hands should all be aligned in the same direction. The hardest part about this technique is keeping your shoulders down. So as you swing, you want to keep your shoulders pressed down so you can feel them relaxing off of that muscle in your back and not off your shoulders. Once you get comfortable, you can start to speed up. Now, even though my hand is extended, there are no straight motions in Bagua. There's always a curve there. Breaking it down is easy to practice this with one hand. It actually has many health properties that will help you with your joints. So just swing that hand, go right into it without a step. Don't swing too hard, don't overextend. You should feel it pushing off of your back leg and driving your hand upward in that angle. Then practice with the opposite hand, the back hand. And just try to make sure you can swing that up. You're not using any force. So while practicing this, your arms shouldn't get tired, but only your legs. Now alternating sides. Then try shortening it up so you can feel that power in a small burst, almost like an uppercut. You can make any technique longer or shorter depending on the purpose, but making it longer makes it easier to generate that power. Shortening a movement usually entails using it for combat. Looking at danger. Now, danger to kick, my hands first cross block and spread both sides as I extend that foot upward. Now the kick can either thrust to push them back or snap. And you'll see that the kick is just in a slight angle, pointing upwards, toes pointing up, and a slight angle off to the side. It's almost like a mix of a side kick and a front kick. Hands come together and split them out to the sides. So one hand, the palm is pushing outward, and the other hand, the palm is facing inward. Now, the heights can vary. You can have one going up slightly, one going down slightly. That really depends on how you impact your target. Do it nice and relaxed. You don't have to kick hard. A lot of times when we practice, we just have to stay relaxed. And in combat, we just let it go. It's also first important to remember not to try to kick quickly, just nice and relaxed. Best to just figure out this cross action and how that splits with the leg raising. So you can start off with a knee or low kicks, just something to get you to understand you're splitting that pressure to make enough room for a kick. And this can be done at all heights, off the front leg or the back leg. So getting used to that feeling that those arms splitting are helping you create that snap is vital. This is room. Just roll the hands back, one over top, and then lean forward off that leg. Pull that leg back, then forward as the wrist bends and extend through the target. The hands make a propeller motion, one coiling over top, one over bottom, and then shoves forward on the target. Then that leg leans forward, drop our weight down, careful with the knees, and extend forward. One. As you get comfortable, you can lean forward even more. Then reverse that weight. Drop down comfortably and extend. Do this technique nice and slow, and so you can really feel where your balance is. Raise that wrist up and then down, align with the foot, and extend. Going back and going over. Extend that weight forward. Bring it back in front. And press. Once you get the technique together, go ahead and smooth it out. You don't have to do it fast. You get nice and balanced with it so that your body weight is exactly where you want it to be. The key to this technique is being able to bring your weight forward and then backwards. So I go forward, then backwards, and downwards. So breaking it down, you want to look at the two parts of this technique. First, the swirl, as I do that Baibu step. And so let the arms swirl while I do Baibu. The arms really represent almost a Kali style with weapons as they swirl behind. Make sure the bottom hand passes by your stomach as the other one goes over. Baibu, step, Baibu, step. Now reaching over and just doing that weight shift from front to back. So let the hands lean forward, one on top, one on bottom, then sink and extend forward. Once you can get these two parts of the move, you'll find it's very easy to put them together. Over the top, and back, and forward. Try to make sure you sink down softly. There should be no jarring of the body as you do each motion. Nice and slow, as low as you can at first. There's wall, the final technique. Hand turns in again, and then I press my weight down, keeping my back straight. And it's pressing in front of my stomach. So it starts off like a yan sho, or sparrow hands. One hand over the top, the other on bottom. And it's the lead leg that's going to be pressing from the top. So that with that hand, press that hand down across the stomach. Nice and slow. This has a lot of healing properties. You can do it lower and you can do it faster. But first do it slow so you can really feel where the power comes from. Extend out from the side, keep the elbows in, then extend from the other side, hands come together, press down. This is especially important to keep those shoulders pressed so that you can feel where that power comes from, that energy from the back. After practicing for a while, you can start to relax and just really walk through the motion. You'll see how that energy will sway through the body as you extend those hands. So even though the hands are extending from the sides, you're going to make sure that the middle point is your stopping point right before you press down. Now let's take a look, almost like a review with the stick weapon, but we're using it with these last 4 movements. So I do that swing, and this one's very natural. You're just coming from under. Just make sure you can feel that your body is whipping those weapons upward with a definite stopping point. One blocks, other strikes. And this gives you an idea of how the technique will work in applications. try it with different footworks to get more comfortable with positioning. With the kick, straightforward. Use that cross block and then extend out and just really try to do those different levels of kicks for different possibilities. It's just great exercise. You can continue kicking over and over again. Nice and relaxed, not fast, until you really feel comfortable with that angle trajectory. Now we're just doing that very first part of room where we just swirl, and you can see how this is very much like Arnis Kali styles. The only difference is we're using that Baibu to turn us and pull us forward. So continue to use that Baibu as you pull yourself into the target to make sure you can't retreat. Once you relax, you can let the hands kind of whip over a little more naturally. But don't forget that step. Now leaning forward and dropping that weight. This is important to understand that wrist positioning. As you sink, the weapon goes up, and that really represents your wrist angle. So as you sink down, weapon goes up and then down. As always, for the last technique, I would like you guys to make a video on your own, and I would like to see what you come up with. And you can use any weapon that you want to express this technique. It's all about being center lined. Congratulations, you have now finished the full water section, and you've also finished the full Fist of No Extremes. Continue to practice all the techniques in review, because coming up is going to be applications. And we're going to apply all the techniques that we've learned, so there will be 11 more videos featuring these techniques that you already have. So good job. See you next time.